Hi guys, today we're going to look at how to use the databases on campus. The databases are a wonderful resource that will let you find really good and credible research. If you have great strategies for using it, it's easy. In fact, it's easier than using something like Google because you know you're going to get exactly the kind of research that you need. So let me show you how we're going to get started. You're going to start at the quick launch page, which we see here. That's the page where you have the Get and Moodle. I want you, though, to go down to here to the library. And when you get to the library, I want you to click on the article databases. Okay. You'll see here that you could write in the database you want, but I want us to go to find all of the criminal justice databases. Now, databases subscribed to different journals. That means that what I have in this journal might be different from what I find in this, what I find in this database might be different from what I find in this database. I like to start with Academic Search Complete, but I don't stop there. If I can't find what I'm looking, I come back and I look in these other databases. I click on Academic Search Complete. That takes us to EBSCOhost. We're going to put our search terms in here. Let's say we want to do our project on sexual assault and college students. We're going to click on that. And you see that we come up with almost 600 entries. There's no way we can sift through 600 articles. So we're going to narrow it down. We do that by coming over here to where it says Refine Results. We're going to write maybe the last 10 years. And remember, we always need to use peer-reviewed journals. That narrows it down to 400, but that's still way too many. Part of our problem is that this sexual assault in college students is still too broad. So we need to find another way to narrow it down. One way that we can do that, if we're not even sure what our choices are, is to kind of look at the page and see what other people are looking at. So look at here, we see something has to do with alcohol intervention, something with race, setting, researcher contact, negative affective conditions. I see this one has to do with bystander interventions. Now, I actually know that bystander interventions are a really popular way to address sexual assault. So that inspires me to think that could be a new term. So let's come up here and say, yeah, we want to know more about what bystanders can do to affect this problem. Click on Search Now. And look at this. We're down to 26 articles. And that's a really reasonable amount of research to go through. Now that we have 26, though, let's figure out if the research we see is the research we actually want. And for that, we're going to click on the article. Now we're going to see some new information. We're going to see all these subject terms. And that can be another great tool for you when you're looking for research. If your terms up here aren't working, try one of these. Maybe they work better. Maybe that's kind of the more official term for some of the subjects you're interested in. Now down here, we have the abstract. The abstract is a paragraph-long description of the article. What you want to do is you want to read the abstract. Does this article sound like it's the kind of research you want? Does it say that it's a research study? Do you need to use research studies? If you're writing a literature review, you should be reviewing research studies. How can I tell that this is a research study? Well, look at the keywords here. This present study. Investigated. That seems like that's a synonym for tried to find out. Participants were 321 young men and women. I can tell from the kind of words they're using that they did original research. So I know that this will work for my term, for my literature review. So now I have two choices. I can find it, or I can save it for later. I could print it, I could email it, I could export it. I'm going to show you a video in another video that talks about exporting. Right now, let's pretend that we want to find this article. We're going to click on Find It. Oh, uh-oh, this happens sometimes. Now, if you're lucky, and in fact in most cases, if I hit find it, it's going to take me right to the article and I can start reading. But sometimes you'll see this. This means that our library doesn't have access to that article. But that's okay, because we can get it through interlibrary loan. Interlibrary loan is a process, it's an agreement we have with other colleges. We'll lend them our stuff if they'll lend us their stuff. So all we have to do is click Submit a Request. If you've never done it before, you're going to have to register. If you've never used your library card at Cal State LA, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, you might need to go there first to make sure your library card is activated. But let's say you've done it and you need to register for interlibrary loan. You're going to set up an account and you're going to put in your username. Hold on while I find mine. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to log on. And you can see it's really could not be easier. All of the information you want, it's all typed in there for you. All you need to do is say, submit a request. And now it's done. I'll probably get this in 1 or 2 days. So if you're looking for research and you haven't waited to the last minute, this is a great resource. If you have waited for the last minute, you're sort of out of luck, which is another reason not to wait to the last minute. One more thing, sometimes it does take a few weeks. So you don't want to put this off. You want to be finding your research as soon as possible. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you've learned some good tips that are going to help you navigate the databases here at Cal State LA. Bye.